You're watching And Now the Band. We're here today with Brady from Conjurer. Oh my God. Uh, Brady, thank you very much again, for taking time out of your night to come hang out and chat with me. Honestly, we were just talking about Veilcast and them being called Conjurer. They were my introduction to you guys. Like that story, I was like, oh, now I need to check out this other band. And that was my introduction. I'm like, oh, so right now it's a full circle kind of moment.
That's wild. Yeah, no, as I was saying earlier, like when we first started and we picked Conjure as like a placeholder name, it was one of those where we'd been rehearsing for ages and we'd started booking gigs. We didn't have a bassist and we didn't have a name, and we were like, man, we've got to sort those two things out. So we had a whole list of names, and Conjurer was one of them. Black Nest was another one. And then we found out that Black Nest is like a fishing village in the south of England. So we felt like not
We're
so
not
cool.
fishermen.
Yeah, not so cool if you Google it. So Conjurer, that'll do for now. And Danny scribbled a logo on a piece of paper, and we got a friend to like digitize it for us. And we're like, great, that'll do. And then that stuck for like 5 years, that logo and the name, once you've started gigging and you've started recording music and whatever, you're stuck with it. Like so many bands try and change their names and it's never the same. So like when we as I was saying, like I didn't even think about it, but I found out through as soon as we started to put our music online that there was another Conjurer, the Australian one, came up first, and then the a lot of festivals and um especially when we first started, if we ever had like a green room with like the band's logo printed
It was,
out by the festival, it was the American Conjurers logo every single time. Like that thing haunts my dreams.
you're like,
Um
son of a bitch.
yeah, no, it's just funny. But yeah, no, I was saying that I reached out to both the American and the Australian Conjurer, I think on Twitter, I don't remember, and I was like, we should do a split EP, Conjurer, Conjurer, Conjurer. We should call it the Triwizard Tournament, and we should put out a thing. And yeah, I think both bands left me on red. So I was like, cool, peace. I'm gonna not try and be fun anymore and just
That's
stick to making
how
dumb music.
how fucking great would that be though? Like, oh, we got a three-way split coming out. Oh yeah, what bands? Conjurers. What?
Yeah.
All of them. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think more bands should lean it because, like, whenever you hear about bands having similar names, it's always lawsuits or people kicking off or like someone saying, no, we're the real whatever. And it's like, I just don't think it's that, especially if the bands are different or unique enough. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's how many bands are there called Destruction? Like,
right.
like,
Well, and
um,
especially, you really dig into it. Like, I think it's like starting a business. You come up with a fucking name, and there are 100 other, things with that same name. Like,
yeah.
how many bands are there worldwide? Like,
Oh,
it's
more than anyone needs. Let's be real.
I don't know about that. Like, I think we need all the music, but who am I, you know?
I think that it is so overwhelming the amount of music available right now, just in general. Like I try and keep up with new releases and like I'm missing more good stuff than I'm hearing week on week. And with like it's the double-edged sword, right? Of music recording technology being so much more accessible to so many more people is amazing. Everyone has the opportunity to create and um, put art out there into the world, and that's so special. But it means there's so much more art, and you go on to I use Tidal, and I'll get new releases for you, and every week there's 50 records.
Oh yeah.
I know in my heart of hearts I'm not gonna listen to those on top of I'm barely gonna listen to the stuff that I already know about and I'm excited for. Like it's it's one of those where it's like a losing battle trying to keep up. So I I think for any one person, there is way too much music. But I do agree with you that like having, everyone is making something for someone, even if it's just for
Yeah.
themselves. Like there is an audience for whatever you're doing. And it
However good or
often,
bad it is, you know.
yeah. But like we are lucky to live in a time where more people than ever will have the opportunity to express themselves in that way.
Yeah, it's the accessibility, I think, to new music is obviously we're at like an all-time high. So for
Mhm.
any independent artist to get out and get your music out to the masses, it's literally like click, okay, I'm done, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's the real trick, though, is like if that's your approach, if your approach is click and I'm done, you've absolutely not got any kind of future in music. Like that is,
well, like what I'm saying is I'm not saying like, okay, I just put my music out and we're good. I just mean
yeah.
like here it's available for you to listen to everywhere,
Oh,
right?
totally.
Because
But I do feel like there are bands that kind of I do not often get asked for advice, but it happens. Like people are like, "Oh, like what's your advice for like a new band?" And it's the same as my advice for people that are studying music at university. Like you have not made it once you've got that record deal or once you've put that first album out or once you've got onto the university course. Like that is like not your end point, that's your start point. That is where like
yeah,
the actual work begins. Like you've done all of this DIY shit, be that school, be that playing local gigs, be that, whatever it is, to get to that level. And you finally reach the hurdle and you're like, now I'm at uni, or my band is signed, or we've put out a record. The biggest reality check that I got throughout the last 10, plus years of doing this is, oh no, that is like the ground level. As soon as you hit that level, then you need to work 10 times harder. You need to like
yeah.
step it up. You need to like hustle because no one is gonna give that to you. Like I'm the only person from my entire university course that is still has anything to do with music. One other guy, he plays bass in a tribute band, but that is it. Like I am the only full-time musician and or person working in music from my course. But I missed my graduation because I was on tour. Like I was gigging every weekend. I was like it was everything that I did outside of being at university studying music that actually contributed to the career that I've had. So like I yeah, I'm really passionate about like just like reiterating that it's not like an easy ride for anyone. Like you gotta
No, it
fucking work so hard.
and you absolutely nailed it. I think there are so many bands that they set in my mind like unrealistic expectations for themselves. Like
Mhm.
once we get signed, we're good. Like no. Now you just have distribution to more places
Yeah,
essentially, but
yeah,
you're still a traveling t-shirt salesman. So you need to get
100%.
you have to get in the van, you have to go to the towns, you have to do the thing because if you don't, you're not gonna be the one in a billion band who put music out into the masses and someone went, holy shit,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. You could be, but if that's your future plan, then very much good luck to you. Like
Yeah, go play
I
the lotto.
yeah, right. We have a great relationship with our label and like being on Nuclear Blast is, they're an absolute powerhouse prestige label, but like we do not just get to sit back and let them do all the work. Like on our last record, that was it wasn't that arrogant, but like the approach was kind of like, oh, we don't really want to do social media. We don't really want to play the game. We don't really want to go out there and push for press. Like, why do we have to come up with a narrative around the album? Like, press would just want to talk to us about our art. And it was like, the last record went great, but it wasn't until we kind of had a new approach on the new album that we were like, okay, let's actually do everything we can to serve the art that we have made. And that is
Yeah.
like putting effort into social media, putting effort into, the press around the album and deciding what we want to say and how we want to say it. And actually that we need to craft all of those things and be not to make up a story, but be really intentional with how we want to talk about our music. And the press was so much better on this new album because we went out there knowing what we wanted to say, knowing a little bit more about how we wanted to present our art. And it's not selling out to think about those things. It's going,
No,
how
it's
can we
like
put in
it.
more effort?
Yeah, it's kind of, this is going to sound really bad, but it's like controlling the narrative, right? Like if you go out and you're in an interview and they don't really know, like, oh, well, the band bio, they started here, first album, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
What about the album though? Like the album is what we're promoting.
Well, I think for us, it was really about let's make sure that with our but like the pre every bio that has ever been done for a band before has been done by our PR at the time, or by the label, or by someone, and it's just been like, cool, this is great. You clearly get what we're about, you understand the album, you understand the history, fine. For this one, we sat down and we hired Becky Laverty, who has been a PR for years. She's one of the main team at Roadburn Festival as well, which is the kind of realm in which our music is moving and that we want to be. And we sat down for, 2, 3 hours and just talked through the philosophy of everything that this album was. And we tried to make something that really covered all of those initial bases. So when press got that press release, all of the basic questions, all of the stuff that makes an interview boring is covered. And so we were then able to go, okay, what do we want to talk about? What do we want to hint towards in that press release? Things that we're passionate about, things that you can sit and talk to us for an hour about and get really good stuff. And that is the first time Danny, who's a lot less sociable than myself, enjoyed press. Like they were like, oh, that was like really good fun. I just got to sit and talk about this thing that I love for an hour or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's how it should be. But the only
Yes.
way that we get to that point is because we put all of that effort in and did all the boring supplementary stuff that isn't just focusing on the music to get ourselves there. So I think there's been a really big mentality shift over the last couple of years within this band of going, we cannot just sit back and write our masterpiece and expect everyone to rock up and give us flowers. Like
Yeah.
it was never that vibe, but it was more that than it should have been. And that really everything we do now, be that approaching social media or the way we tour or the way we do X, Y, or Z, it's all about servicing the art and what will give us the best chance of getting this in front of people. And I feel like people have connected with the new album so much more than anything we've done before. And it's felt really special and kind of you get a lot of that effort back from people.
It's funny how that works too, right? Like when you put the work in on the front end,
Hmm.
which it might be boring and tedious and
Yeah.
it's not fun, like, but on the back end it seems to be like a lot more rewarding. I'm
A hundred
uh,
percent.
a firm believer in you, you get out of it what you put into it, and that, so like, good for you guys for making that like conscious shift to
Mm.
do that and for seeing the rewards like immediately.
Yeah, and like it was, I'm really lucky that I'm in the position to. I was in the position to take like 3 months off work. Like I tour full time, so I'm a tour manager when I'm not doing stuff with Conjurer. So I was like, I'm going to take 3 months off touring and just do the album campaign, and we'll do a lot of the video editing myself, and we'll do like teach myself how to do that, and like all of these little money saving things, do all the budgeting, kind of like work really closely with the label to get everything together. And that was kind of from we did studio, we went straight on tour for a month. With studio, I went on holiday for 2 weeks. We went straight on tour for a month, and then I took 3 months and then kind of went straight through to album. But like that amount of effort for what is for us, it was a revolutionary difference. Like I feel like our social media was really strong going into the album, and we were so engaged with the press, and we were, doing PR events, and we were doing this, that, and the other, and it was awesome. What we actually achieved is, pretty standard. It did not reinvent the wheel. It wasn't anything crazy. It didn't look like, oh my God, what is this band doing? But like the amount of effort it takes to do something of a level compared to what everyone else is doing out there at the minute. Like it is a lot, and I tour with a lot of bands that put so much more kind of effort and importance into their social media. The first crew member that these bands are hiring is a photographer, videographer for
Yeah.
the content, and all of the conversations in the bus or in the van are about what the content strategy is, and looking at the numbers and analyzing all of the streaming and all of this like really in-depth stuff. And I'm like, yo, it's probably a
I just want
bridge
to
too far. It's
I want
it's
to
got
play
yeah,
music.
yeah, right. But I do appreciate that like that level of hustle and going, okay, this is what it takes to make this a career.
Yeah.
That's probably not on the cards for us. However, there are some
I'm
things we can do to support the art, you know?
first, don't say that because I feel like I feel like what you guys have, I really enjoy what you guys put out because it's not like one element, right? You guys bring in a
Yeah.
lot of elements, which is first, we're more prepared today to have a mixture of genres than we ever have been, and the
Yeah.
crowd is more accepting. But, it's the things that you all are doing are moving, you know what, you might not be moving the needle all the way over, but everything is like a little bit more. You're doing the thing that I think all bands should do is, hey, you know what, we've done this so far and it's taken us here, which is great, but if we tweak X, Y, and Z, it's going to take us a little bit further. And then you do that, and the next conversation is, oh, we can do this thing, right?
Yeah.
So what do we do to get there?
I think
And
it's quite funny because absolutely I see that the way those conversations actually go is Danny will be like, I'm really fucking bored with this. I'm trying this now. And literally, I think the message we got the other day was uh we're meeting up on Saturday to do some like recording for some social media stuff, and then some demoing for some new ideas. And Daddy was like, it sounds like full of hell. Like that's just like the stuff they've been working on, and we're just like, cool, all right, let's see what that looks like. Let's see what our version of that level of extremity is. I got a message from them that was like, I've written some riffs, all I've been listening to is Napalm Death. Like it's one of those where by the time we've got, because it takes us a long time to write, by the time we have something that we're happy enough with and proud enough of to put out as a Conjurer release, we're kind of done with it. Like we've explored all of the ideas within that thing, that subgenre, that like idea, and we've kind of the amount of material that we've cut is 10 times that of what's made it onto the album. So like for us, it's like this record is the distillation of the best of these ideas. This is our best version of that. We're gonna put it out. We're really fucking stoked with it, and then we're gonna try something else, and we're gonna see what is what gives us that same passion and what gives us that same kind of spark as that did. And that's why the records sound different. And I think the Pathos, the second record, was, if not a disappointment, but a little bit. mystifying to at least some of the press and some of the people that had followed us in the UK from day one, that really expected us to go a bit more mainstream. We'd played Download Festival, we'd had the debut album that was the saviors of UK metal and all that, hyperbole that you get in the press. And then we put out a record that was weirder and more obtuse and more left field and a bit less engaging. And everyone was like, oh, that's not what we expected from this band. And then we pivot and put out something that's really emotionally driven and really kind of back to basics. And then we're gonna go and put out a fucking grindcore album. Like whatever it is that we do next, like I love that idea that absolutely no one knows what it's gonna be because we don't fucking know yet,
Right.
like
Well,
we just
and I think
follow what feels exciting.
one that I think that's a testament to you all, right? Because you put out music that for lack of a better term, that's you guys, that's your snapshot in that moment, right?
100%.
Like, and I think bands that I love, and the most famous band that to me and my family is like our family band, has constantly reinvented themselves on every fucking album. Deftones. You
Oh,
cannot listen,
100%.
you know what I mean? And they've done wonderful things. And don't get me wrong, I love that they're as big as they are, but I also fucking hate it because I don't want to go to these big arenas and watch a show. I like being in a club and seeing you right there, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
we actually on the last tour I was on, we had a day off, and it was the same night Deftones were playing, so we hired a van and driver to take us from one city to the Deftones show. Went to and saw them in a, it's the cap of the Birmingham Arena, like 20,000 cap arena, and it
oh,
was fucking amazing. Like they were
yeah,
so good. It was really fucked up. We were like, I kind of was the same general vibe. I was like, there's no way this is gonna feel like what I want a Deftone show to be, but they were unreal. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I know what you mean though. It's when a band kind of is taken out of the environment that made that music. Like you don't write Koi no Yoken when you're playing at an open air festival stage. You don't write um, uh, White
You don't
Pony.
write White Pony in an arena, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
you you don't have it, but it's also like they have never been afraid to do what they're gonna do,
yeah.
whatever that is,
Mm.
and it's funny because I think for a band it's like a double-edged sword, right? Like you want to create what you want to create, no fucking no barriers, but then the fans are like, "Oh, well this isn't blah." Right? And
Yeah.
then other fans are like, I really like it because it's not that. And it's what do
Mhm.
you like where's the balance is making music that you want to make.
Yeah. I mean, that's been a really big talking point for us. Um from day one, it was always like Danny and myself being like, we don't really like the metalcore scene that we're a part of in our bands. This doesn't really like, that's what we grew up on, RD Killswitch Engage and Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium and those bands. Like that was what got us stoked on metal, but it wasn't really doing anything for us. So when we discovered hardcore and doom and sludge and death metal and all of this stuff at the same time that we were doing Conjure, and it was like this explosion of music. And from jump, we were like, let's just do what is exciting to us. But then when we started getting like putting stuff out and getting reviews, and especially around that first album, and it was, 10 out of 10 reviews in all the top magazines in the UK and every possible insane positive thing you could say about a band, especially in such a small kind of tight-knit scene as we have in the UK. We sold out loads of the shows on our first ever headline tour. Like all of the hype was there. It's been a really big part of the narrative from around that time where we sat down and we were like, this is all really cool, so lovely to hear. However, does not mean shit. Someone who thinks we're the best band in the country is got as much of a valid opinion as someone that thinks we fucking suck. Like the truth is always somewhere in the middle, but like really, as long as the four of us are into what we're doing and we're putting out stuff that we're really proud of, it makes it really easy to be like, thank you if you love it. Sorry, it's not for you if you don't like it. And like that, just take that for what it is, which is just someone else's opinion.
Yep.
And but that is like a real um conscious conversation that I think you have to have if you're in a band that is putting out records. And like either way, like it doesn't matter. Like I think the press is less relevant than ever, and not in a dismissive way, but just in a factual way. Like I grew up reading Metal Hammer and going, "Oh, this is what's out now." There's a band called Charybdis from the UK. I was like, Dom Lawson said this record was an 8 out of 10. So I went out and I bought the CD on Bandcamp the next day. Like that model for finding out about new music, it's just not how people how it works anymore.
We have
Those sources still exist.
such short attention spans
Hmm.
anymore.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm old, like I when I say I'm getting ready to turn 50. So
Mm.
you I grew up in a time when it was like, I want some new music. I don't like listening to the radio because it's all fucking garbage. So
Yeah.
let's go, let's find a record store that not everyone's at and then
Mhm.
just go search through the sections. Like, what do
What's
we
got the
have?
cool artwork?
That's exactly it, and
Yeah. Or
it's
like get a fucking recommendation from the guy behind the counter and he's like, what do
yeah,
you like? And you're like, I like Slayer. And he's like, cool, here's this fucking Morbid Angel record. Good luck.
yeah.
Like that, not my era. I just turned 30 like last year. 2 years ago. I'm older than I think. But like, like I definitely feel like we are a band that yearns for that era and that experience. And that's how we still engage with music. Like I get excited for an album. I'll maybe listen to a single just to see if there's anything wild or whatever, just out of curiosity. And then I'll ignore it. I'll put my pre-order in for the vinyl and I'll wait until the album comes out and I'll sit and I'll listen to the bastard on release day with the big artwork in front of me, like a
You're like, I
fucking
could read the fucking lyrics. I could like
yeah,
in because it's immersive,
yeah,
and I think the internet is both good and bad for that. The good is a band in bumfuck Kentucky can find out about Conjurer and go, "Oh
yeah.
man, these guys are rad." The bad is that might be the only place they listen is, Spotify or Tidal or whatever whatever their choice is. So, um,
What I will say, like, because bands all the time, like the fucking conversation is to shit on streaming platforms and say they don't pay artists anything and yada yada yada. As a brand new band, so true. Like if you're getting, 10,000 streams a month or less, functionally it's nothing. You'd be better off selling 10 records to people at a local gig. When you're at the level where we're at, which is not big, average 50,000 streams a month or monthly listeners, give or take, goes up when we put a release out, goes down when we don't tour, whatever. But pretty consistently around there, we get money from streaming. Like it's not a lot, but it's not nothing. It's money that like will pay for shit we really need on tour, and it comes in regularly enough that like
you can
it
count on it.
doesn't.
That's nice.
Yeah, you count on it. Like yes, the system is bad, but one, it doesn't pay nothing, and two, we can rock up in fucking Raleigh, North Carolina, in which we did on the first US tour, and there will be 10 people that have been like, I've been waiting to see you guys for 5 years. You got recommended to me on Spotify. I'm gonna drop $100 on merch, and you guys will like pay for our fuel for the rest of tour in one night because like our music that we would never have got into a record store in the US in 2019. We would never like all of these people that came out the woodwork on the first US tour that had just found out about us from the way that streaming as a platform works. Like, we even had people that saw us at, I remember very specifically, we played a festival in the UK and then we had a support tour. So that was August. We had a support tour in November. And I spoke to so many people on that tour in November that were like, I saw you at this festival. I went and listened to you on Spotify, and then Spotify updated with tour dates. So I bought a ticket to this show, and then I was selling merch for us at the time, and they drop a bunch of money on merch. I'm like, this is where it kind of pays back in for underground bands like ourselves.
Yeah.
That is how you get the benefit of streaming. And like bitching about it online, it's never going to change. Too many people within too many places make too much money from it, and it's not artists
Right.
that like the system isn't going to change enough. It's so convenient that people aren't going to vote with their money, but like you can exploit it for your own gain as a small to medium artist. Like there is
Well,
absolutely benefit to be had.
I kind of look at it like back in my day, I fucking hate that, but it happens. We
Yeah,
did tape trading. We traded so many fucking tapes, and bands didn't make any money off that shit.
yeah,
We dub a tape and send it to a friend. Hey, check this fucking band out. Like,
yeah. And they went, "That's fucking great. Let's go get tickets when they come to our town."
yep, that's
Right?
exactly it. We're gonna go to the show. We're gonna buy a t-shirt or a fucking record or whatever because your dub sucked on the tape, but it made me, it interested me enough. So
But dude, when me and Danny started, there was this definitely like illegal, but there was this site that basically put up every single metal release for free download that came out. And every single week, me and Danny would sit and we'd go, let's listen to like anything that looks interesting. And then if we really loved it, we'd either buy the record or we'd go and watch the band or both or whatever it was. But like so much music we discovered through that. And
yeah.
yeah, technically we gave the bands less than if we'd streamed it, but like it was just it was engaging. And I'm like, as an artist, I'm like, if someone can't afford to buy our music or can't afford a streaming subscription and they want to fucking torrent it or they want to get their friend to give them the CD, great. Like the more people that have access to it, the better. Like, that's why I
Yeah.
love Bandcamp as a system where you can just go and listen to this for free. You can, like you have that direct access. But yeah, I don't know, man. The whole system is like kind of cooked, but it is what it is. It is like the world in which we grew up. The glory days were never as good as everyone likes to say they are for the bands. Like, yeah, the
Right.
80s tour were fantastic if you're one of the bands that have stuck around in the popular consciousness, but bands of our size existed then and they made no money and they were like, fucking hell, look back at the 50s, that was the best, bands got paid regularly and like all that shit has always existed. I
Well,
think
and
that
I think a big difference though between now and then is like then the radio, when you got played on the radio, there you actually every time you got played, you actually made something. Your song had to get played 10 times and I think it was 12 cents a play is what you made, right? So that was decent. It didn't matter if how big your band was, you were getting royalty checks. And
yeah,
you know, I'm not arguing like streaming is the devil because I use the shit out of it.
yeah,
Like I, you know,
it is what it
I,
is.
I also have thousands of records on
Mhm.
shelves all around my fucking office because I love music. I want to support the artist, right? So it's
Yeah.
like where do you fucking go? But let me ask you this.
Mhm.
What has been thus far for you? What has been the favorite tour that you've done?
This is always so tricky because especially in the last few years, like every tour we do is so different. We can do a headline tour and it is like so fucking mind blowing that people want to come and see our band. We're not like coasting on someone else's fans. We're not just doing a one-off show that we sold. You know, we just did the tour for the new album in UK and Europe, and it was absolutely humbling to have so many people just come out for the pure love of what we do. Like that kind of shit is amazing. And I think that that's between the first headline tour we ever did, you're never gonna replicate that. The one we just did off this new record that felt so emotionally impactful. But the last US tour we did has actually been one. I know it's certainly Danny's favorite. It's up there for me, but we did 2023. It was we were main support to Chemists, and we did like a month in the States and Canada, and we rented an RV, and it was just the four of us, and it felt like a road trip movie. Like we would literally like we'd play the show, two of us would go to sleep, the other two would jump in the cockpit and drive a few hours, park up, then go to bed. The other guys would wake up early, jump in, start driving. Like we were always on the move. We had maybe one day off in the month. And it was just like this. We got into this flow. All the shows were cool. We played some really cool headline shows on the off days. Like financially, it was like anytime we come to the States, it's a fucking nightmare because we pay for visas and flights and yada yada yada. Um, the first show we sold way more merch than we budgeted for, and we were like, we had that immediate relief of, oh, we're probably not going to be bankrupt after this. Like all of those things came together. Like it was just such an amazing experience, and I think the plan is kind of same deal for this one. We'll rent an RV. We'll actually just got a quote for that back this morning. We're gonna go and do this US tour. So I'd like to say this US tour is going to be the one because it's both touring in the States, which we love and we really get a kick out of, and it's headline shows, which we've done a maybe seven total headline shows in America, and they've always been on off days, kind of in the middle of nowhere, um, around support shows that have sold a lot of tickets. So it's never been the full experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I would have to say the Chemist tour, but hopeful that the country US headline tour takes the top seat.
Hell yeah. Me too. It's exciting. The bill, you guys have a solid fucking bill. I think that scratches a lot of itches for people.
I mean, that's how it's always been for us. Like we've always been so particular with the bands that we tour with when we get a chance to have that say, and our much to our agents' frustration, because definitely we do not pick bands always that are worth a lot of tickets, but we pick bands that we think are going to curate an exciting evening. And like with Pains, for example, who are on this run, they were like a local opener on one of our headline shows on a day off on the last US tour, and like absolutely blew me away. I was like, yeah, this band are fucking great. We stayed in touch, and then we were able to bring them in on this run, which has been great. Snooze, a band that me and Danny separately both really got into their last record, and then our agent was like, "Oh, I've got this band. I think they'd be cool for you." And we were just like, "What the fuck? Like that band rips. Let's go! Like this is
Yeah.
awesome." Sadness, I wasn't aware of, but Danny was a really big fan, and I've been kind of digging in. What an insane discography this band has! Like so much to pour through. But yeah, like in terms of covering a lot of ground and kind of like curating a bill that for me, there is nothing worse than going to see a thrash band and sitting through three thrash bands supporting them. Um, so yeah, what is so exciting about this is that you will get a bunch of different flavors. Every band will feel and sound and look and different and give everyone a different experience. Like really it feels like we've created a lineup that I would be really stoked to go and see. And that's all I look for in a bill. Is like if I was having to buy a ticket for this for however many dollars, would I be stoked to spend that money? And on this one, 100% yes.
Yeah,
That's where
that
I'm at.
dude, it's so hard though because I think just like you said, when I go see a death metal band, I don't want four death metal bands. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or not the same thing. Like I love
Mhm.
Cannibal Corpse, but I
Yeah.
don't want four Cannibal Corpses, you know?
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
we already have one. Like can we do something different? Plus it I think for any fan, like you don't just want to sit there and go, "Okay, hit me in the face with riffs." That's all I want. No, you want an experience.
100%. And like being hit in the face with riffs is cool for two bands, and by the time you hit the third one, you're like, okay, I'm kind of done now. And the headlines come on, you're like, I'm riffed out. Like this
Yeah.
is we always do the same with like changeover music. We will play anything but metal, like is kind of the vibe. Like normally it's we will have like a 20-minute changeover playlist before we go on, and it'll be Carly Rae Jepsen and Katy Perry and fucking Robbie Williams and like anything to like kind of palate cleanse before
Yep.
you start making aggressive music. Use it if an in-house person's like, what do you want? And I'm like hip hop. Just like play something that is so far
Different.
removed from what is going on in this room and just give everyone like a bit of respite. Something that we do sometimes as well is we'll just do a mega group playlist between the four of us, and it is anything goes. You put in whatever you want, and then we just hit shuffle as doors open, and then it is what it is.
Oh
And
yeah.
that has caused some uh we had people at Brutal Assault Festival in the Czech Republic yelling at our sound engineer to change the music because it was shit, because it was like pop music playing, and they were like, "What is this fucking shit?" And he was like, "Dude, the band picked it. I don't know what you want." Like
That's so fun.
yeah.
So there's an artist here in Kentucky called Benzodrones, and
Okay.
it's one. I'm gonna fuck this up. I'm pretty sure, but it's two guys. One guy with a bunch of knobs that he's turning, and
Uh-huh.
another dude on like a keyboard, and they just it's ambient music is what it is. So that we had a show. It's my first experience, probably like 6 months ago,
Hmm.
and Benzodrones was on the bill. So like a band would get off, they would do the Benzodrones thing, and
Hmm.
it was so fitting for that reason. It was a palate cleanser between the bands. It wasn't overwhelming where you're like, God, I wish they would turn that down because I need,
Hmm.
I just, my ears need to breathe. Like it worked out perfectly. And I'm like, holy fuck, if we could do more of this and not just, okay, we're going to find the heaviest metal for this heavy metal show to
Yeah.
play. Like, I need a
Yeah.
palate cleanser. When I eat
Um,
sushi, I want a fucking palate cleanser, you know?
yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. And I like that, like, one of the cool things I think about the younger generations is that like genre boundaries matter less and less to people. And
Yeah.
um that like die-hard metalheads will always exist because it's our subculture and is what it is. But like you don't have to wear a black t-shirt and a denim jacket now to like be a metal fan, and you don't have to just like you don't just have to say, "Oh, Miley Cyrus is fucking shit," if you like Slayer. It's like, no, you can like multiple things. You can
You can
be
like
passionate.
everything. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
And like yeah,
yeah.
and like it's cool. It's not it's I don't think it's cool to be elitist anymore.
No, and
And
it's like it's getting a lot more um challenging to tolerate the elitists too,
Mhm.
right? Like I'm I'm at a point where it's like I try to preach to my kids like what you like. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Like, my daughter's first concert was Justin Bieber, and I'm like,
Hell
cool.
yeah. Did
You
she love
went,
it?
you yeah, like you went, you had a great time, right? She's like, well, yeah, but it's a little embarrassing, and I'm like, why? Like, how many people wanted to go to that show that maybe couldn't afford it,
Hmm.
right? And you were able to go. Like it's super cool
For
that you
everyone.
had that experience. Right.
Yeah.
Like who it, nothing that anyone else thinks or their opinion of you and what you do, it doesn't fucking matter. They don't pay your bills. They don't feed you. It's not your confidence when you go out into the world.
As your father, I do all of those things.
Yeah. And I don't like
Yeah.
Justin Bieber, but that's just because I don't really like him. But
Yeah.
that's fine. You loved it. That's what
Yeah.
matters.
And something that I've really learned into is like, it's fine that you don't love Justin Bieber because Justin Bieber ostensibly isn't for you. Like
Right.
you are, it's not like you're his target market and he's failed somehow to enrapture your imagination. You go,
Yeah.
he's not made this for me and I don't like it. Cool. Let me like support the young woman in my life that is like passionate about this. And like that, I bet you got the best buzz off her loving it, you know?
I just, same thing. I just want people to be themselves
Mhm.
regardless. You should be unabashedly yourself. There's not a, you and I having this conversation here today, if we were to have this conversation and it not be recorded, I'd tell you the same shit. I speak the same way. It doesn't matter to me. Like I want my daughter to love what she loves. I want my son to love what he loves.
Yeah.
Like, and if someone doesn't like it, who fucking cares?
Yeah. I think that's the approach that I think band members should have. Like, make what you're going to make, and like, if no one else likes it, as long as you do, you've succeeded. Like,
Yep.
you have to be so ready for no one else outside of the room that you recorded it in to give a fucking shit about what you're doing. Like, you
Right.
got to be stoked to drive 6 hours to play a bar to no one. Like, that is got to be something that you have to make peace with before you put yourself out there as a musician. And like,
Well, and I
it's
think people are just drawn to it too. Like the people who do that, that is, it might just be for a short time in your life. It might be for your whole life, but it doesn't matter what road your parents told you to take. You're like, I have to play music. I have to go play a show. I have to do this. Like
yeah,
it's woven in our DNA.
100%. Yeah. No, and like I was really lucky that my parents were super supportive and were like, if music's what you want to do, don't do anything else for a second. Don't have a backup plan. Like go out and focus on that. And like we're really supportive through that process. But like I know a lot of other people aren't that lucky. So I do see how people get into that mindset of not being open to ideas or to music or to whatever it is. But like I think it's the only way you can not drive yourself crazy as an artist is to make what you're going to make and just be happy with that. Like, again,
Yeah.
very easy to say as someone who's made it in whatever way it looks like my career and has the ability to travel all around the world and play my songs to people that give a fuck. Like literally in the 1% of people that ever have any success with music, like super privileged. But like it is true. When we started this, our aspirations were to play some gigs and maybe put out an album one day. And like that was it. That's all it's ever been. Everything we did since we put out a record and played at the Underworld in London has been a bonus round like that. And that's how the mindset that we try and keep is like, we're not entitled to anything. Everything we do is a real privilege because we get to do this. We get to play shows. We get to turn up and be relatively comfortable playing shows. I get to sleep in a bed on tour most nights. Like it's it's like absolutely living the 15-year-old me would lose their freaking mind at the stuff that we get to do now, even when it isn't glamorous or even when it doesn't feel cool or if it doesn't look very cool on social media. Like doesn't matter. Like we're out there doing it because we're passionate about our music and I don't think there's any. way to lose if that's how you are truly living, you know?
I absolutely agree, and it's God, it's so good that you have that like thought, that like thought process with it,
Mm.
because it's when we do anything, there comes a point where we become comfortable or complacent and we're like, oh, let's just glide.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's when you lose your steam, you lose that momentum. It's I got the record deal. Oh, how great is this? We're cool now. Like, uh-uh. Now you really
Yeah.
gotta fucking step on the gas, dude. Like,
Yeah. And like the more that I think the more that I meet people that I really admire in this industry, no one's fucking cool. Like everyone that I actually like look up to is a fucking weird nerd, and that's awesome.
yeah,
Like makes way more achievable to just be like, oh no, all the people that you admire or aspire to be like, whatever, are just doing their own thing and are staying in their lane and are like stoked and happy and thriving and like just being true to what they want to do. So like, why would you try and emulate that? Just do your own thing. And like
yeah.
someone else is gonna think that's cool. You know? Like it's
Hell
I
yeah,
don't
it
know. I
is.
think people overthink this shit way too much.
That I am guilty of that, like 100%. I'm like, fuck, I gotta stop overthinking this shit. Like it's bedtime, my brain's just like, oh fuck, this sucks.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
are you guys gonna have vinyl on tour?
Yes. Uh yeah, we will. 100%. I would like to say we'll have all of the records, but we will have minimum the new album. Um, actually, don't know what our stock looks like in the US. I will send an email tomorrow and find out.
I just like
But yes.
I want to buy the new album, but I would prefer to buy it at the show than
Yeah.
buy it online. Um,
Yeah, I mean
holy
that
sh
helps us the most for sure.
You guys, so let's talk about your merch on tour, because I know like for a touring band, that is merchandise is really how you guys make it fucking town to town and get paid and
Mhm.
whatnot. So like,
Correct. Yeah.
yeah, how what does your merch look like? Like, how much merch do you have? And like, do you have t-shirts and posters and CDs and albums and buttons and
Yeah, it's different for every tour. We've always been a band that has sold far more merch than we have any right to for our size and kind of within our genre. So I think we've been really lucky to work with some amazing artists. So for the US, I'm in the process of kind of early days of sorting this out now. For every tour we do, I like to have a hoodie, a t-shirt, a long sleeve, vinyl CDs, patches, and then question mark. And question mark is sometimes posters, it'll be slip mats, it'll be prints, it'll be something else. Um, but really a lot of it comes down to budget, what we can afford to do when we're doing headline tours in the UK and Europe. It's way more of a uh dependable market. So I know we can spend X amount and we have a really good merch company that will give us all of our merch on credit so we can pay for it after the tour and things like that. Like all of those kind of financials in a really boring way dictate what we do a lot more. But I'd like to bring a lot of the merch that we had on the UK Europe headliner over to the States. So that a lot of that's on our social media from posts around that tour. Um and yeah, just really we work with a company called Night Shift Merch out of Florida, who are absolutely fantastic. Karim there has been working with us since 2019 and has been the most supportive, like literally sponsored our visas to get to the US, like has been the absolute man. So massive shout out to him and his team. So I'm gonna hit them up this week and really get started on what we can do and what we can make work as a band that does not have enough money to tour the US realistically.
yeah, I totally get it. I ask about posters specifically because I have so many fucking t-shirts. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm not exaggerating. I know I'm well over 1,000 t-shirts that I have. I have totes. Matter of fact, I have 8 totes right outside my office door that are stacked about yay high, full of
Hell yeah.
t-shirts. I've got
Fucked up.
probably, dude, I've got another 40 in my garage, floor to ceiling. I'm just like, I need something different.
When when my wife moved to the UK before we got married, and I was still living in my mum's house, and I had this little side room that just had a wardrobe in it, and it was like waist high on the floor of t-shirts, and it was all black band t-shirts, and she
Yeah.
was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, I realized that I have a problem. And we started selling them online. And I made enough money to replace all of my band equipment just from selling t-shirt. Like it was wild. And there are definitely some that I miss that I wish that I hadn't got rid of. But like, yeah, half of the gear that I use with Conjurer now was paid for with band t-shirts.
So wild. Like,
It's
I thought
crazy.
about that. I'm like, maybe I should sell my t-shirts because, like, especially the ones in the garage, they're never coming out of the garage. They're gonna sit there.
Dude, I put them on Depop for like £5, free postage. I made like £2 on each shirt, and they were most of them were like brand new because never been worn. For the, you have your t-shirts that you wear, and then you have some that you've worn a few times, and then you have far more than you'd like to admit that you've worn once, maybe.
Or never. Yeah. Yeah. Literally just fucking, God, I just went to a show. Where did I
Yeah,
go? Oh, I went to a show
literally,
for Christmas show.
this guitar was paid for with t-shirts. Like.
Thank you,
It's
t-shirts.
fucking dumb. Yeah, literally. Like, and I kind of love that though, because that was me as a fan and as a early touring musician, just going out and buying a t-shirt from every band that we played with, and or getting them gifted sometimes, or like going to gigs and buying a t-shirt because that's what you do. And then like all of that then went back into funding, making more music. Like I really like that the kind of cyclical nature of that.
Dude, the cycle of life. Like
Yeah,
it,
for real.
it's so like genius. I've got, and I say I need more posters, but I probably have 400 that aren't framed or anything. They're sitting in
Yeah.
like, yeah, I need more shit. That's so wild. Oh God. So when you're outside of the band, who do
Mhm.
you TM for?
So I have a few bands. My two regular, well, three regulars now are North Lane out of Australia, Make Them Suffer out of Australia, and then a new band from the UK called Unpeople, that I've just taken on. And then Pine and Pupil Slicer are kind of my like smaller DIY van bands, basically, that I do as much for as possible. Um, when I'm available. But yeah, it's those bands. I do merch, I do tour managing, I do drum teching a little bit, I do playback, I kind of do a bit of everything. But really was all born out of needing to find a job that would allow me to take enough time off to do Conjurer.
Yeah.
And it was, well, why don't I just keep going on tour? Because it's the only thing that I know I can control my own schedule. I can, work around whatever. Like this year, Conjurer has a bunch of stuff, so I've had to turn a bunch of tours down, but then I'm able to make other stuff fit. And it's always a bit of like a game of reverse Jenga where I'm trying to put it back together in a way that makes sense for the year. And then obviously Connor plays guitar in Silosis as well, so he's super busy touring with them. So the Conjurer calendar is like Connor's Silosis schedule, my touring schedule. Noah does a bit of touring work as well, and we're trying to fit that all in. And Danny sat there like, "Let's go on fucking tour! Like I'm down whenever y'all are free, like let's make it
Like y'all
happen."
quit doing shit so we can go on tour.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. Literally. So yeah, it's all a bit of an admin nightmare. But we make it work. And uh yeah, I also my wife moved from the US to the UK to live with me. So for us, I also don't want to be away 9 months of the year because otherwise, what's the point of her moving over here?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's trying to balance a real life and a um artistically but not financially successful band, I will say.
Yeah. What and that's such a delicate balance too. Like
Yeah,
you don't get married so you can stay away from them for fucking ever. Like, no, I kind of
exactly.
love you. Like, let's
Kind
hang
of.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, she was really understanding. Like she works in hospitality and was like, "Look, I can do that from anywhere in the world. If you're gonna take this chance while you're still young and not physically broken yet to go and tour with this band, and like, what if that's what you're passionate about? Let me come to the UK. We'll focus on that for as many years as makes sense, and then we'll look at our options from there. So no, I'm really lucky to have found someone that really is supportive, and there'll be times where I'll be like, I don't want to go to practice or I don't want to do this or that, and she's like, I fucking moved here for this band. I didn't move here for you, so you get your ass to that rehearsal or you go on tour and you don't whinge about it. And I'm like, yes, man.
Okay, I'm going. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
literally, that's the vibe.
Yeah, I'm lucky in that way too. My wife supports everything that all my crazy fucking ideas. I'm like, oh, I want to do this thing, and she's like, okay, are you going to be able to pay the bills? I mean, I will keep paying the bills, the bills I have to. Don't worry. She's like,
Yeah,
okay, as long as that doesn't falter, we're good. Like, all right, cool. Means 16-hour
that's
work days
the
some days. And I'm like, you son of a bitch, what did you do? But whatever.
yeah, it is
Okay.
what it is.
When you guys are coming to the US
Mhm.
June, no, end of May, correct?
May 22nd is the first show in New York City.
New York City. Um,
Exactly.
every time someone says New York City, I just think of I don't know if you've seen it, but we used to have like salsa in a bottle, and it was El
Uh-huh.
Paso. So it'd be like, "Where's this salsa made?" He goes, "New York City." He goes, "New York City," and it was, like this one's made in Texas, good old El Paso or whatever it was. So that is like such a dumb thought that I have. Sorry.
That's it. No,
Um,
yeah. So yeah, we start in New York and then we have one day off on the entire tour, which I've been told is fucking crazy, but we're here for it. Um, and we're what's up? East Coast. New York through to Canada. We play Prepare the Ground Festival in Toronto, which I'm really stoked for. And then back down through a bunch of places, and Philly is the last show. And then we fly home and play Download Festival in the UK like the next week. And that's where we're at, and I'm fucking stoked. I think it's going to be really cool, and I'm just really thankful that I get to do this, you know?
yeah, that's super. It's what I think everyone starting a band aspires to do. I want
Yeah,
to tour the world and,
yeah,
and do all the things.
for sure. And like at least just get to not play your local bar, right?
Yeah.
Like I spent years playing all of the little towns around the tiny town where I grew up. And I remember the first time I played a big show in London. It was just a show in London. And like how fucking crazy that felt. And then the first time I played in Europe. And then like every time you kind of get a little further away from home base, it still feels so special. And like that's never been lost on me. Like every time we get to leave this horrible little island, like it feels like a real privilege. And then we get to play a gig as well, like even better.
I'm kind of getting paid to do this. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah, right.
Like
I'm not
that's
losing money to do this.
yeah. Yeah, how cool is that? I was actually just reading I'm reading the Born Human book. It's like the story of death.
Hmm.
And I'm like at a part right now where they're talking about the first European tour, and it's like, huh, I think Terry Butler and Rick, well, maybe not Rick Ross, but Terry Butler and the fucking drummer Andrews were talking about like we're already over here. Like let's just they were canceling a tour, or Chuck was canceling the rest of the tour. So we're already over here. We got 10 more days. Fuck, let's just finish it out. Like, yeah, you're already doing it.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it.
Why would you not? Yeah.
Right. Okay, Brady, I'm gonna ask you to do one thing for me, and
Hmm.
I really want to promo the show at Portal. Do, do, do.
Hmm.
So I'm just trying to make sure I have the dates, everything right. And um, Tuesday, June
Why have the
2nd.
dates? That's real. I'm going to trust you on that.
Yeah, I'm staring at the
Oh,
flyer now.
Tuesday, June 2nd, Louisville, Kentucky. Portal.
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 Have okay,
That's really.
have you been to you haven't been to Portal yet, have you?
No, I think I've been to Louisville, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure. Portal's really fucking cool. So
Okay.
there's a in the middle, like it's a big building. In the front is a like a metal fabrication company. The guys who own the
Mm,
building who own Portal. Then you have the venue, which is like middle, and then in the
mhm.
back there's they've got like a coffee shop and a tattoo shop. There's
Fuck yeah.
a spa, and like if you're into trading card games like Magic and shit and
Oh,
Pokemon and shit like
sick.
that, yeah, they do fucking tournaments there. It's a really fucking rad place. Like,
Hell yeah. That sounds great.
yeah, super fucking cool. All right, will you promo the show, and because I want to cut it out and
Mhm.
put it up and hopefully get fucking some more people at the show because the show deserves it, dude.
Fuck yeah. That's all. Hell yeah. Um, I've never done this before, so I'm in. Brady from Conjurer here. We are playing Portal in Louisville, Kentucky on Tuesday, 2nd of June, 2026. It's Conjurer, it is Snooze, it is Sadness, it is Pains. A lineup that we're really fucking stoked to be out on the road with, and our first time headlining in Louisville. So come hang out. Portal sounds like a sick venue, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, come to the show, buy some stuff.
Hell yeah.
Dude, Brady, I've had a lot of fun sitting here chatting with you, dude. I feel
Yeah, me
like you and I
too.
could chat all fucking night
Well, we'll have to at the show, right?
for sure. I think if you have time, if you can get here early enough, maybe
Mhm.
we'll go hit a fucking record store
Where are
and
we
just,
the day before? We're in Indianapolis the day before.
oh, cool. It's like a 2 hour drive.
Cool. Hopefully the Veilcast guys will come hang out because that's where they're from.
Yeah, I'm actually, when I get off with you, I'm gonna call John and be like, dude, you're never gonna guess this. Are you guys
Dude,
playing?
please
Are you,
apologize from my. I've always had the impression that they were pissed that we exist, so please apologize on my behalf.
I will. I will. Um, I think I think it's fine. Are you guys playing Black Circle?
Yes.
The
Good
place is
venue?
rad as fuck. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It is like it is the venue to play in Indianapolis.
Cool.
Like, um, fucking Baroness. You know how big Baroness is?
Yeah.
They their last tour played Black Circle.
Fuck
So
yeah.
like,
It's like 128 capacity.
yes. Yeah, it's
That's wild.
dude, I saw I didn't get to see Baroness because something else came up, but I had a ticket to it. But Crowbar and I Hate God fucking played there and it sold out like that. It was
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
great. Yeah, it's a
That's it.
cool venue.
Okay,
Um,
cool. Well, short drive and a cool show the night before. We will definitely be down to hang in Louisville. I know I have some friends there. Like the best man from my wedding is marrying a girl from Louisville, so hopefully they're going to be around. And
Fuck yeah.
yeah, that's going to be a great time. So yeah, let's absolute worst case. Let's grab a drink at the show.
Yeah, well, I don't drink, but I'll fucking do water or something for sure.
We can. I barely drink. I'll have a Diet Coke. Let's be real.
Hell yeah, let's we're gonna be so caffeinated. It's gonna be amazing.
That is the fucking dream. Okay, I'm here for it.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you so much, Tom. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you, man. Have a great night and safe travels.
Same to you. Talk to you soon. Have a
See
good
ya.
one. Bye.